What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. My name is Kevin, and you're watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch. We do these every Monday and Friday. Today is May 10th, and that means we are exactly 1 week away from set 4 of Lorcana, Ursula's return. Remember, guys, like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content, and if you're so far a Lorcana Goon, because it does support the channel. We talk about card prices, meta trends, and Lorcana news. I am joined today with none other than my boy Zach Stone, fellow Lorcana Goon team member who also helps me with the Market Watch videos on a regular basis, guys. This is not a one-man show. Zach Stone helps me a lot. But if you don't know, Zach Stone sells cards for a living. He has a booth at Frank & Sons in the city of Industry in California. Zach, how you doing today? Introduce yourself for those who have not met you yet.
Well, hello everyone. How's it going? Welcome to the Lorcana Goons channel. This is our Friday Market Watch. He's already said it, every Monday and Friday. And then Kevin, I am doing well, thank you. Got up pretty early. Nothing too difficult this morning I had to take care of, so I really can't complain. And after seeing all the rest of these reveals of the Enchanted, I got really excited to make this video with you.
Dude, I know. It's pretty crazy. Let's get on into this. Thanks for joining me. As always. You know how much I appreciate it, man. You know how excited I am. We are about the Monday and Friday Market Watch and all the people commenting. I know I read the comments, but let's go over some of these new enchantments that were revealed. Today we got Look at This Family. I love the artwork on this one. This is an Enchanted rare. It's a Sing Together song, Sing 7. We've gone over this on the other Market Watch video, and I'm going to do another video where we just go over all the cards. So don't want to spend too much time. I just want to appreciate this Enchanted artwork today, because there were some people who were making posts on Facebook and Twitter talking about how they didn't like this Enchanted artwork for this set. So I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you think of Piglet, Sturdy Swordsman, Enchanted, also revealed to us today? I think people don't like the black background. I like the black background personally. Zach, we were talking about how this set is very thematic, and it's almost like these characters are now fighting in the shadows of Ursula's power and whatnot. So I personally really appreciate it. We got the Ursula Piglet, right? I mean, we got the Piglet Sturdy Swordsman right here. We got Anna, True Hearted. What do you think of these?
I think Piglet got sent to the Shadow Realm for sure. Right now he is he is in battle, he is in combat, and something to kind of think about too is that like Enchanted art has a theme in each set. From what I have noticed, at least, and maybe the first two sets looked a little similar, but they started to do it a little differently in the Inklands. And we might notice this going forward. So
I personally
I
like
appreciate this artwork.
I personally like it.
It's up to the interpreter of the art. So I think the art's fine. I like it a lot. And again, yeah, he's in the Shadow Realm right now.
He's giving me Blackluster Soldier vibes, dude. It's freaking. It's pretty rad. I never thought I'd see Piglet with a sword.
Everyone really wishes they have a Blackluster Soldier. I promise you that.
Right. Next up, we have the Queen Diviner Enchanted. Also, we have a new artist as well on Knock 4 Urn. If you want to go check them out on Instagram, that's their Instagram handle. See all their other artwork. But yeah, we have a new artist in the Lorcana space, which is pretty cool. They've been doing some of the Enchanted. I like the Enchanted. I like that we have different themes for the Enchanted per set, is what it's looking like, because it kind of makes the first chapter Enchanted even cooler now, because those are going to be like the, not normal, but those are going to be the ones that almost don't have the extra theme layers, at least from what we're seeing here with this like straight up black background for this Minnie Mouse Musketeer, which I think is really cool. It kind of gives a less is more kind of vibe. Some folks I've been hearing are not fond of it, but then some folks weren't fond of the Inklands Enchanted either, because of that kind of paintbrush stroke. And there's another one that was revealed just recently, Ariel Sonic Warrior, the Enchanted, where we finally got an Enchanted Ariel. Zach Stone, my heart, how do you feel about this?
I feel like a lot of husbands and boyfriends out there are gonna have to make that sacrifice and get this card for the girlfriend's collection. I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, my wife will not let me hear it if I don't get her the Ariel Enchanted when it's released. And I already know. I already can think of a couple people who are going to reach out to talk to me about it right now. So
if you don't bring home the Ariel Enchanted, you're not sleeping in the bed tonight.
And this one's also done by Nocturne, I believe. The 4 is just supposed to be a T.
Oh, duh.
I'd assume, but Nocturne, the artist, definitely had some more than just one feature for some pieces. I don't know if they did more than just Enchanted art, but I actually kind of like it a lot.
Yeah, I love it, man. I dig it. I dig the vibes. Definitely eerie, but also very stunning, very striking. And then having Ariel as a Floodborne character, just marvelous. Been waiting for these. Been waiting for the Floodborne, more Floodborne princesses. Love to see it. Speaking of Ariel, this is the Ariel Sonic Warrior normal version. This is the pre-order price, $20 if you want to pre-order these singles, which we usually advise not to because pre-order prices tend to definitely just drop when the sets come out. So we want to go over some cards today, this Friday, and then come back next Friday when the set actually launches at the local game stores. It's almost like a pre-release, so it's not the big retail launch, but you're still going to see the actual prices starting next Friday. So I want to compare and contrast. So Ariel Sonic Warrior, the steel Floodborne Ariel card, said to make Amber Steel decks even a little better. Who knows though? I know, Zach, you said you had some feelings about this card. You want to mention it real quick?
Well, just that I don't know how powerful this card really is. My first impressions is that it's a shift Ariel. However, we already have the Amber Singer 5, and playing this gives you the additional cost to sing 6 cost songs, which I don't think there are any. So the difference there isn't too relevant. Her ability to pay 2 ink and deal 2 damage also can't be played the turn she is played. So having to wait a whole nother turn to have this ability. Outside of that, her stats are pretty decent. I'm just not too sold on this card being very powerful.
Yeah, no, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. So we'll see if it's $20 next Friday. Hidden Inkcaster, a pretty powerful Emerald card. Won't go over the effect too much, but it's $1 right now for pre-order. So this is a common, so that's a little bit more reasonable. You know what I mean? If you do need to pre-order any of these singles, Avalanche is a $4 uncommon right now. Again, pre-order pricing still a little up there. Which we're gonna see what these look like next Friday. If you'd like to purchase any of these cards or even just booster boxes, you can find them for pre-order as well on TCG Player for less than MSRP. $126, which isn't too much more than the current set of Lorcana. Inklands is selling for about $115, so you can pre-order it for about $10 extra right now. If for whatever reason pre-ordering makes you feel better about the money you currently have, it's right there ready for you. $126. Lowest verified today is going to be by Devastation. Shout out you guys for having the booster boxes for pre-order at a way reasonable price because Lorcana was super expensive when it first came out. My goons, if you weren't here during the $300 box era, then you didn't feel true pain. But some of the stuff is still a little bit overpriced. The gift set boxes. This is the Ursula's Deep Trouble Illuminator's Quest. This is basically going to be a gift set. If you don't know, that you can play either by yourself or with a family. You play against the board game, against the Ursula, and it's pretty cool. There's a lot of information that just came out today about that too, but we'll go over that at the end of the video if anything. But yeah, these are still a little bit hyped. I do want to let you guys know, go to Disneyland if you can next Friday. If you're going to be in an area with a Disneyland, definitely go in the morning, Friday morning. Last, when they did Inklands, they had mats, they had gift sets, they had troves, and I missed out. Zach, did you miss out? You missed out too, right? You didn't go to Disneyland on Friday?
During Inklands,
Yeah.
no, I didn't have the initial urge to do it. But only due to the I had some allocations that excuse me, were fulfilled, and I didn't have the need to also go and get some extra product to have. But this and also the Tinkerbell mat are definitely going to be some things that change my or push me to want to go this Friday. So yeah, I can't wait to see it, Kevin.
Yeah, next Friday.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. So yeah, I'm pretty much down to go the next Friday because I think I have a need to get some of the the gift sets, and I also want that Tinkerbell mat. If I don't get that Tinkerbell mat, I'm gonna be a really sad beast. So I hope I can get that mat. And speaking of sad beast, it's actually a card that I want to bring up right now in the market watch. We're seeing a sad beast price right now. I think, what does that say, 41? Yeah, so like around $43 after you pay the shipping. We do see a more solid stable price around like 48 to close to $50, which is about how much I think the card is really worth. So any copies that you see under $50, if you've been looking to play this card in any of your Emerald Steel or Amber Steel lists, or your Amethyst Steel as well, get so now. And a lot of people are talking about playing Morph with the new shiftables, and don't forget that you can always shift this character on 3 with Morph.
Yeah, there's a lot of unverified sellers that have it for less than $50, like you were saying. So if you want to go that route, by all means. But personally, if I have this in my binder, if I'm gonna get rid of my cards, I'm gonna value it at like closer to 50, 40, 46, 45-ish, lowest verified by pre-loved DTC today. Shout out you guys. But yeah, man, the Beast Tragic Hero definitely not gonna go out of style next format. I think this card's still gonna be more than good. And it was almost $60, during the height of this format. So if Steel's a deck that you've been wanting to play, or you've been wanting to foil out your beasts, they were close to $100 at one point, and now today you can find them for as low as $75. By Grail's Gone Wild, which is a locals in Southern California, actually. $75 with $1 shipping. Kind of cool, actually. So $75, way less than $100. Ursula, Deceiver of All. The card finally came down in price, especially after that weird hype where they were selling for like $45 to $50 for the non-foils. Today, the lowest verified for the non-foils are going to be $39.74. So still a little bit more than they were a couple weeks ago, but still not as much as they were during that peak of $50. The cold foils are now basically $50. Duckman TCG has them for as low as $51.13. We haven't gotten a confirmation on the ruling yet, right, with Sing Together, but it's assumed that if you use this Ursula in combination with other cards to sing those Sing Together cards, you'll be able to sing those cards twice, which are like, they're power cards. They're power
confirmation.
Songs. Is there? Okay.
I think there's a confirmation.
Okay, if you guys know of the confirmation, then leave in the comments below, please. I would love to really look into that and talk about it more in detail next Market Watch.
Yes, if you have two of the Ursula Deceiver of Alls and you sing together one song with both of them, you're only going to be able to trigger one, because in order to recast that, it has to put it onto the bottom.
Yeah. But
so
in general, you could still re-trigger it that way. Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool, man. So I think this card's definitely going to be more than playable next set. I think this card was really hyped in the beginning of the format, then it kind of fell off a little bit, and then like Emerald just came back with a vengeance. Like right now, like it feels like everyone's playing Emerald, and I think Emerald gets better next format personally. So Ursula's Deceiver of All, if you think this is that card, if you think this might be as much as Beast is in the future, right now it's cheaper than Beast. Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, definitely kind of sticking around the less than $40 price, which is nice to see if you want to pick up some cards for Steel for next format. I think Robin Hood's still going to be good next format. At first I was like about Robin Hood. I didn't really see the hype, but as I really got into the format, I noticed like the amount of pressure that this card puts on an opponent turn 3, which is kind of wild. So that's never going to be a bad play. $36.12 by Duckman TCG, lowest verified today. Shout out you, Duckman TCG, lowest pricing today. Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, if you want a cold foil Robin Hood, you can find him today for as low as $42.99. HD Legacy, they're a non-verified seller, but the next person has it for $41.47 with $3 shipping. So about $45 for the cold foil and $35 for the non-foil. So those prices finally diverged. At one point they were both very close to 40, 45-ish, and now the non-foils are a little bit lower, and the cold foil has been maintaining that value. Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, this card's super cheap again. Remember my Goons when it was super hyped up and I kept saying, oh, you guys should have bought this card when it was like at $25. And today, lowest verified is by Infinite Gaming NC for $26.75. If you've been wanting Maleficent Monstrous Dragon for your deck, for your collection, if you think that Ruby Sapphire Popsicle or Ruby Amethyst Control is going to be good next format, and you feel like, yeah, Maleficent Monstrous Dragon is the card, I'm down. Right now, it's at a really good price, right, Zach? I think it's at a good price. What do you think?
I definitely think that this card is so good and so undervalued, and this is not the first time I've seen this card dip below $30 and go back up. So again, there's a time to buy certain cards.
Yeah,
I don't have any of these cards for sale right now in my inventory. I don't have any. I'm completely gone.
Yeah,
so look at that as a good indicator of when to pick up certain things.
The cold foils are still less than $100. They were selling for $115 at the peak at one point, and today you can find them for as low as $85.84 with $4 shipping. Not too shabby. Still kind of expensive, but if you're a big ball and you want to save a little penny, then compared to what it was about a month ago, you can get them now for much less. Scar Vicious Cheater, actually kind of surprising me that it's still $15. Tiny's TCG Shop, $14 for your Scar Vicious Cheaters. I think the card's good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know how good it's going to be next format. But look at this, Zach Stone. Lowest verified for the cold foil, $55 by Marcus's merch. This is the only listing. Oh my gosh, are we witnessing a buy? Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this, Zach Stone. Are you looking at this? What? How many? Oh, this is just for the cold foils, but look at how many have sold. One,
I'm
two,
glad I'm
three,
glad I'm glad I
four,
still have I think
five,
like
six,
one or two
seven, eight,
left. That's
nine,
all I
10.
can say
Yeah,
there.
over the weekend, like 13 sold over the weekend. That's actually that's kind of crazy. Wow, yeah, 13. I wouldn't say buyout,
Remember when
but definitely
Carlos Lara
expensive.
bought that one for $20 at
I
the
know.
store?
I'm hurt. He bought it. I know. I'm hurt.
I
My
know, I
soul.
know. Carlos Lara,
My
Carlos
stunks.
Lara, you're feeling good.
My stunks. My stunks. Yeah, no, I was holding on to my Scar Cold Foil Vicious Cheater too because I knew I had a feeling about this card. But yeah, sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And I needed the money then, so shout out Carlos Lara. That's the guy that let me borrow his deck actually for the set champs. If you guys didn't know, I showed up to set champs without a deck, and Carlos Lara, he gave me a deck. Shout out Carlos Lara. And I got my Stitch with that deck, Ruby Amethyst. True homie. That's the true Lorcana community energy, by the way. You show up to locals without a deck for a Stitch tournament, and somebody lets you borrow a deck. Love to see it. Rapunzel gifted with healing. Going to be $30 today for a non-foil if you want to go through a non-verified seller, which I think is really good, right? You pay $2 for shipping. If you want to go through a verified seller, though, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. Evan Nick has it for $33.98, almost $35 again, kind of climbing back up. Cold foils are still going to be kind of expensive in that $70-ish range. $69.98 lowest verified. Actually, it's going to be $68.77 lowest verified by Collector's Cove TCG for your Rapunzels, almost $70. Lucky Dimes are pretty cheap right now, less than $10. Speed Force has you for lowest verified of $7.41. I think Lucky Dime's going to be good next format. If Lucky, like the burst potential for Sapphire is crazy. Like being able to play Bell, hit Lucky Dime, gain 5 lore. That's just unfair. That there's no way that's bad next format. So I think that's going to be pretty good. And then Mickey Mouse Brave Little Taylor is a card I always want to go over in the Market Watch videos for my collectors out there. $59.40. Card still coming down in price just a little bit after these restocks that hit pretty heavy. $59.40 lowest verified Tectonic Donut. Shout out you guys. If you guys want to pick up your Mickey Mice BLTs, they're not in the $60-ish range anymore. They're slowly creeping down. Remember, guys, this card was at $100 at one point. And I definitely think that when the first chapter is no longer in circulation, you know, there's the potential to see that price again. I like this card. I personally always want to have like at least one cold foil Mickey in my binder.
Yeah, no, this card is something that I always gets compared to being like the Charizard of the game, you know. It is the cover art of one of the packs or on one of the packs in the first set. Don't get me wrong, this card's also the D23 promo, and that's always going to be a nice novelty. A lot of collectors are going to want to collect like your normal version, your foil version, and that version too if they're trying to, you know, go all out. But you know, we're looking at this card going down. I can safely say that if this card hits $50 and you've been needing to buy this card for your collection, go ahead and swoop it up right then and there, because $50 is too good of a price point. We've seen a lot of other cards be, you know, really high and then they get really low, like the Jafar Striking Illusionist that we're about to look at right now. I know it's sitting at, I think, below $10. Oh, we're just starting to see above $10 prices. But yeah, this card doesn't see any too much competitive play. I know a few people talked about winning their set championships with it. But yeah, this is a card that I think started off at like above like $30+ when the set came out, and now we're seeing it go as low as like $10 plus shipping. So guys, we have a new set coming out next week. Just remember, certain cards that get hyped in the beginning don't always prove to do well when the meta develops. So take your time and to consider what you would actually want to play.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad you said it like that. Because like everybody and their mamas was hyping Jafar, whole new world combo. People were hyping up the Beast, the Relentless combo. Remember the Beast OTK? All those videos and all those Facebook posts with like this OTK is gonna ruin the game, and that's how people felt about Jafar. Like I had people texting me, being like, "Hey, is Lorcana dead now?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Yeah, that Jafar combo just looks unfair and unfun. You just win every time, right?" And I'm like, "No, dude, this card is mids at best. Like it's a don't get me wrong, I'm just kidding. It's a good card. The deck is good. I think I've lost to it plenty of times. It's just that, you know, you don't lose all the time because they whole new world you know 3 times. But the point is though that there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of hype when Inklands came out, and there was a lot of people like, I'm not gonna say falling for the hype, but people were just jumping the gun, man. They were spending like $30-$40 on this Beast Relentless, and the format wasn't even a week old. You know, people were building decks that they saw from like Reddit posts because they read this Beast OTK, won me my locals and or something, and the set barely came out like 2 days, 2 days before. So like it's just it's a little hefty to see. You can even see this peak. Look at this, man. It was definitely selling for more than 30. These were selling for like $40 at one point. And now you can find them. You can find the Beast for as low as $5.70. Mr. Mime is French, and that's not to say that the Beast combo decks and like playing, stuff like Sheriff of Nottingham, all that's not to say those combo decks are bad or anything like that, or this card is bad. I think this card is good. It has a lot of potential. It's just, it's like impossible to predict the format. We can like read cards and be like, this card sounds good, this card sounds bad, but we're never gonna know for sure what's gonna how it's gonna unfold until we start seeing tournament play. If anything, I feel like the current Inklands format, there's still a lot to discover. You know what I mean? Like, we just saw the Teo Beastie top 16. We saw an Amber Amethyst list in that top 16. Like, I would have never expected that, so like it's impossible to predict, man. So when we start seeing all these videos about like this new deck is broken and this new combo is gonna make you want to quit Lorcana, all this stuff, man, like just be very patient with how you do your shopping after play some Pixelborn, test the decks out yourself, see how it runs, etc, etc. But yeah, Beast Relentless used to be $30+. It's $5 now. And the same thing with Jimbo Hawkins. This is one that I personally jumped the gun on. I like Jimbo. I think the card is good. I thought it was better than what it actually was. Unfortunately, the locations aren't better than Maui Fishhook. They're not better than Crab Fox. They're not better than a lot of these combination of cards in the game right now. So cards like Jim Hawkins don't get to shine the way I thought they would. So I was buying Jim Hawkins for like $20, and begin the first weeks of the format, and I didn't even have any tournaments to go to. And then by the time I actually had a big tournament to go to, nobody was playing Jimbo. I wasn't even playing Jim Hawkins anymore in my deck. I had no reason to buy this card. So from personal experience, I probably should have waited a little bit more. It was part of my Ruby Amethyst deck, and I'm still glad I have like foiled Jimbo Hawkins because I think this card's good. I think eventually it'll be good, and I'm gonna hold on to my foils because there's no reason why I wouldn't. But it's not a $20, $25 card like it was when when Inklands first came out. Right now you can find them for look at this, man. They were selling pre-ordering for $50+, and then out the gate they were like $30, and today lowest verified is going to be $9.35 by Beachfront TCG. So shout out you guys. Just wanted to point that out. Really make sure to be patient with your shopping, and if you're watching videos of the new cards, the new set and whatnot, just take them with a grain of salt because we haven't applied them. We don't know what's going to happen in the future of Lorcana. Other cards that I think that are pretty cheap that you may want to pick up in the that could be good next format, or honestly staples in the game. They're good in every format, like Whole New World, no longer in the $15 range. Lowest verified $9.49. Crispy Gaming, shout out you. Lowest verified for the cold foil around $10. They used to be $15, so I think that's a great price right now. And the cold foils are $20, $19.15 by Carbon Collectibles. These used to be $30, so this is like a new low for some of these cards. I mean, not new, sorry, this is like a new low in the more recent times for some of these cards, and I do think that this is like one of the best times to start picking up some of these cards. Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy, look at this, man. They're super cheap right now. They're as low as $5.73. Lowest verified by Flashpoints Games JV. Shout out you guys for these low prices on these meta staples that I'm pretty sure you're gonna be playing next format if you're playing these colors, right? $11.74 for the cold foil Tinkerbells. Wow. Guardian cards VT, these are super cheap. These used to be in the $20-ish range. Can't believe that. Maui as well. Maui pretty cheap right now. These were close to $15 at the peak of the format. Crispy Gaming, lowest verified $9.96, so around $10 for your non-foil Mauis. And we all know locations are going to be relevant next format for sure. So if you are playing a Ruby deck, you probably want to have an out to your opponent's locations like Maui. Slewfoot's cards going to be the lowest verified for the cold foil Mauis, $15.50. I bought them for around $16, $18, so not too much of a dip on these. So I'm kind of glad to see it. This is why I like buying cold foils personally. And then we have Be Prepared. Be Prepared, a staple in Ruby. You're gonna play this in every Ruby deck. I think as long as this card is in the Lorcana circulation, you're gonna be playing this in Ruby decks, right? Double Infinity, $7.99, lowest verified, less than $10. These are usually more than $10. They're around $12 to $15 sometimes at the peak of the formats. So to see them at $8 right now coming into a new format, I think it's a really good price.
Yeah, no, Be Prepared is definitely cheap, and it is a card that just gets rid of all the characters on the board. Scar can sing it now with Scar seeing more play. This card kind of shapes up the meta to always like respect it, right? And another card that you have to respect too is Fishbone Quill, because that card I believe is still one of Sapphire's strongest tools. Being able to ramp and get ink, it can be powerful, but it also can be a way to fight back for the board, especially when you're on the draw. And again, a lot of people are under, I would say, sleeping on Sapphire. This is a card that we've seen be above $8 before for their normal versions. Now we're seeing it be closer to around like a $5 card, and then we also have our cold foil sitting at just above $10. So if you've been needing to play this, or been looking to pick up this card to play in your Sapphire deck, get them while they're cheap. I think there's more of a buyer's market for some of the first chapter staples right now.
Definitely a buyer's market for the first chapter staples. The Fishbone Quills foils were close to like $18 at the peak, and now they're as low as $10.98. Lowest verified by Crispy Gaming. Shout out you and Crispy Gaming. Love to see these low prices today. And again, if you're gonna play next format and you want to build some of these decks, get some of these staples. They're cheap right now. Ariel Spectacular Singer, another cheap cold foil staple. Like we just said in the beginning, the cold foil Ariels, the Ariel's gonna have a Floodborn, so it might impact the price in the future. Underworld Cards has you for $12.86 right now for your cold foil Ariels. If you want some non-foil Ariels, they're really cheap. They're as low as $2 with $1.22 shipping by Crispy Gaming. Shout out Crispy Gaming, man. They got the lowest prices today. A $3 Ariel. Can't beat that today. I think this card's going to be good. Not a Mim Fox. The cold foils are still pretty up there. They're $17.81 by Underworld Cards. Lowest verified today. Again, more staples that you're going to need for the next chapter no matter what, right? $4.80 is going to be the lowest of their verified for the non-foil by Immaculate Collects. So about a $5 card, which is good in every Amethyst deck. So, right now it's $5. Who knows how much is going to be in the future? Cursed Merfolk, this card, a staple in Emerald decks alongside cards like Flynn Rider. Right now the cold foils are $7.36, which is honestly pretty high. I like to see that though. So if you're trying to sell some of these cold foils before the meta shifts, they're definitely up there. But if you're trying to pick some up, right now the non-foils are as low as $2.82 with $1.22 shipping. So about a $3 to $4 for the non-foil Cursed Merfolks, which I'm pretty sure you're gonna play next format in Emerald. You know what I mean? Speaking of Flynn Rider, pretty cheap right now. It's gonna be as low as $1 with $1.22 shipping. These usually can sell for $2 to $3. So get them at $1 right now while you can. If you've been wanting to build Emerald, or you've been trying to just like foil out your Emerald deck as well, the cold foils are around, I think, $4 to $5 still. Yeah, $5 with 14 cents, lowest non-verified, or $4 with $1.22 shipping by Collector's Cove TCG. That's the lowest verified. So it's about a $5 cold foil, not too crazy. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, the cold foil is going to be $8.41, lowest verified today. Kind of going up in price actually. They were selling for like $6.50 earlier in the week, and today lowest verified is $8. That's kind of interesting to see. Still think this card's going to be really good next format. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't. But yeah, we have the non-foil right here, going to be for around $4. Redline TCG Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, definitely going to be good next format. And then Morph Space Goo, check this out. Zach pointed this out to me. The Morph Space Goos are pretty expensive today. The ones that were around $6 to $5, they all sold out already. As of today though, right now lowest verified listing is going to be $9.50 by Ziggs Card House. They have 4 of them for you. So if these start selling, it's going to be about a $10 cold foil. I think, like you were talking about, Morph Space Goo might be pretty good next format, right?
Well, yeah, I definitely brought it up earlier when the Tragic Beast was on the screen. So yeah, this is a card that is being talked about a lot due to the new Floodborns that don't require ink to play them. They require a cost of a card from your hand to the discard pile. So that is really good, because on just 2 ink, you can play your Space Goo, and you still can play your shiftable characters that same turn, as long as you have the cost to pay for it. So that's why Space Goo Morph is seeing a lot of play. I think the Enchanteds are being bought out a little bit too. And again, it is one of like the novelty favorites to the show Treasure Planet. A lot of people actually don't or haven't seen that movie. So the movie itself is very iconic for Morph. I think he kind of like farts away too, makes little like fart noises. He's kind of cute. And then another foil that I've seen go up in price too that I want to talk about as well is the Mr. Smee, the bubbling mate. He's pretty up there. He's close to $6 after the shipping and fees and everything like that. So if you're able to swoop them up at 5 or less anywhere, I think that's a good buy for any of the steel players. We're looking at $5.99 from metamorphic cards. So that right there just kind of shows that a verified seller is just kind of like setting the bar straight with $5.99, and they got 2 copies too, so you can just get a couple from them and worry about the other 2 another way. So yeah, I really like this card being played a lot more, and a card that I think might get played a lot more too with the new Floodborn mechanic. Another 2-drop is Bucky. What the Bucky, right? Because that card just says you play a Floodborn, your opponent chooses and discards a card. It has Ward, which is very, very powerful against like Ruby or Sapphire or even Amethyst. Basically anything that's not Steel, right? Because Steel has a lot of the AoE removal. Ruby only has Be Prepared and technically Lady Tremaine. But most of the time, cards like that aren't played against Bucky because Bucky is brought out a little too early. And again, you can just play the morph and play the character right in that same turn and trigger cards like Bucky or trigger any Floodborn triggers for sure.
Oh yeah, you could even potentially like play you'll play like something like Olaf on. Oh, doesn't make sense. No, you can play like Diablo on turn 1, and then Bucky on turn 2, and then on that same turn 2 you can shift Diablo and trigger your Bucky on that same turn actually. So yeah, just like you were saying. And right now it's the promo Bucky. It's only $2 with $1 shipping by Omega Fab MTG. So whenever you play a Floodborn and the new shiftable characters, they're super cheap. They're all 3 costs and they're Floodborn. So it's gonna make cards like Bucky, I think, have extra potential this coming format. Cards like Blue Fairy also have a little bit of extra potential. This says whenever you play a Floodborn character, you may draw a card. Right now, the cold foils are literally $1.13 with $1.22 shipping, and we've been seeing these kind of climb up in price a little bit, just because of not only the popularity of like playing this in Amethyst with the Jafar deck, but even just like I just said, you're gonna be able to combine this with your new low-cost Floodborn characters. They only cost 3, so even if you don't want to shift them later on in the game, they're super cheap. They're just they're super cheap to trigger this extra ability to draw a card. I think that's really good. Some of them aren't too bad either. Chief Bogo is another card that has potential to be good next format because of that, in my opinion. Whenever you play a Floodborn, deal 1 damage to everybody on the opposing side of the board, which is kind of nice, right? It's just uninkable, but we have access to cheap Floodborns. Before, you used to have to wait till at least turn 4 to maybe play Jafar, and then you have to wait turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, and those are all really hefty cost Floodborns, and now you can kind of just play your little guys, which is kind of cool, trigger this ability. So high potential in my opinion. The cold foils are only 99 cents with $1.22 shipping for Cody's Cards TCG for the Chief Bogo. And something Zach pointed out to me was that the Elsa Gloves Off promo is still selling for really expensive. Look at this. The lowest verified for a near mint Elsa Gloves Off promo is going to be $25, $24.89, and these have been selling apparently. Look at this. On May 4th, somebody bought one for $30, another one for $31 on the 3rd, $30 on there. In May, people have been buying these for $30. That's actually crazy. So these have been going up a little bit. These are the gift set. This is the gift set Elsa from the D100. What was that? The Rise of the Floodborn gift set, which is pretty cool. But yeah, man, some of these promos going up for that, which is nice to see. So if you have your D100 gift sets from the Rise of the Floodborn format, those promos have been kind of going up in price. And then aside from that, let's take a look at the Enchanted before we call it a day, Zach Stone, because I want to see how our Stitch stonks are doing this week, right? So Stitch has been coming down a little bit in price. I will be the first one to admit, but I kind of saw it coming. You know what I mean? They were peaking, more Stitches came into circulation. Now people want to get rid of them because they were really expensive, but there's only 25 listings left. The ones for 600 have been selling yesterday, today, throughout the week. One for 600, one for 640, 604 with 90 cents, 694, 650, 700. The ones for 700, they were selling on like the 7th and the 6th, but since then a lot of them have been listed for 600 and they've been selling really quick. But lowest verified today is 699, and then you have to still include shipping, so some of those probably had like a hefty shipping cost because you're going to want to ship this card in some nice packaging, obviously. So I would still say $650 to almost $700. Lowest verified is still $700 for the Rockstar Store Championship Stitch, which, by the way, we did see the new Store Championship card as well. It's going to be an Ursula. I'll look for that in the Discord and showcase that before the video ends. Elsa Spirit of Winter, lowest verified today, is now going to be $1,150 by Grails Gone Wild. Shout out you guys. And as you can see here, plenty of sales for Elsa happening for lower and lower prices every time we do this Market Watch videos. I hate to do this to you, my goons, because I know some of y'all are Elsa holders, and I wish I had an Elsa too, but I just be patient. I do feel like the Enchanted market, the first chapter Enchanted market, will eventually, pick back up. But look at this. One sold yesterday for $1,095. Another one sold for $1,100. Somebody bought 3 apparently for $850. That's crazy each, by the way. Another one for $999, basically $1,000. On the 5th, $1,200. So they've been bouncing around, but they're less than $1,200 for sure this week. And last but not least, Chernabog has been coming back down in price. These were around $200 at one point, selling for a little bit more. Today, lowest verified is going to be by Sidewinder Media for $140. What do you think is going on with Chernabog, Sackstone?
Well, I think it's a little bit of hype when it got seen play in the Pixelborn meta or Pixelborn ladder for sure. The card itself has an interesting design, but the artwork for sure is iconic. So the Enchanted going up and going down could just be coming from like the FOMO during the Enchanted buyout too. We're starting to see a lot of Enchanted settle. Some of them even going back down, or there's a couple that I've seen go less than where they originally started off at. So the FOMO has definitely died down. I think a lot of people are don't have to buy them anymore. They already have them, and the ones that have them left over, they keep pulling them because there's still supply of that product out there.
Yeah, big FOMO. Also, we know new set coming out. People probably want to save their money for the new Enchanteds, or even the new set champ Enchanteds like this Ursula Sea Witch Queen. Zach, you can't see my screen right now, but I'm showcasing the new Enchanted promo that you're gonna win in the Ursula's Return Set Championship. So if you thought the Stitch was cool, let me know what you guys think below of this Ursula Sea Witch Queen. This is the store promo you're gonna win this format for this set championship. And now we got official confirmation that for every set, we're basically going to have a new set championship mat and promo card, which I already assumed was going to be the case. But, if that Stitch was selling for like $600-$700 today, I wonder what this one's going to sell at. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. I think it's pretty awesome. The villain, the goon in me, the villain in me loves this. I feel like this is pretty rad. But I do like a good Disney character. So I am looking forward to seeing what other like hero or princess characters or, protagonists we see in the future for that. I do want to quickly go over, before we leave the Market Watch video today, some other card news. Look at all these cards in our Discord, by the way. If you want to join our Discord, the link is in the description down below, my goons. Please join our Discord. We have puzzle pieces for this set. We're actually getting puzzle pieces this time around because we didn't have that last time. And then we have some new images for what comes in the gift set, which is basically that game you play against Ursula. There's a victory pack, which is going to come with a card, which you're supposed to open when you win. These are like the play cards, so it has like player abilities. There's it's called the battleground, and there's little extra effects, which is kind of cool. These are the cards that I think you play or Ursula plays on you, and then these are the Ursula cards. Yeah, so these are the Ursula cards. They look kind of wicked. They're all dark and they're eerie and they have like white lore. It's cool. You're gonna be playing against these characters, these cards. So who knows if these will ever be like meta cards. Look, we have a 0 cost card. We won't be able to play. You probably won't be able to play this in like actual tournament play because it has like a specific logo on it. But it's the first 0 cost Lorcana card I've ever seen. Ursula's Contract. Very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, man. Anything you want to say before we call it a day, Zach Stone?
Guys, this is a buyer's market. We said it before. There's times to sell cards. There's times to buy cards. If you wanted to sell some stuff right now, you might have to accept that you'll be taking some things at a loss. I take losses and I take wins as much as you guys do. I'm invested in this game. Kevin's invested in this game. There's a lot of cards that we wish we sold before and could have bought back cheaper. But I know I like to play as well. And I had intention to play the cards that I bought, at least some of them too. So just always be, always understand that you take a risk whenever you, invest into anything. And this game is definitely on the rise. The first event is going to happen in, I think we're what, 2 weeks away now. It's coming up really close. So,
yeah, we're gonna Atlanta. Yeah, the Lorcana challenge in Atlanta. We're gonna be there, so be sure to
close.
Yep. So be sure to say hi to us if you guys go. Thank you guys once again for watching the weekly Friday Market Watch. Today's May 10th. It's already May. That's crazy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're a Lorcana goon. Come back every Monday and Friday to keep up with the Lorcana news, the meta trends, and the Lorcana prices. Ursula's return goes live in exactly 1 week. My goons, try to get to a Disneyland. Try to organize something with your local game store. Set some pre-orders. There's availability for the booster packs and the cards themselves. If you want some of that sealed product like the gift sets and the mats and all that other stuff, I highly recommend you, like, once again, talk to your local game store. Try and find some pre-orders. Try and hit up a Disneyland in next Friday. Zach Stone, any final thoughts?
Definitely want to just give a big shout out to all the LGSs that are, sticking to MSRP or even below. I don't think we see a lot of people like overselling. So I hope the Illuminator's Quest isn't selling for more than $60. That's the MSRP. And as always, guys, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons.
All right, we will see you goons next time.